to the sun.
System message. Luthor is waiting. It doesn't seem like Luthor's willing to die to talk to you. Red text person. Why are you holding out on speaking with Luthor? Red text person. I'm concerned. Why are you holding out on speaking with Luthor? Red text person. Do you intend to help him or not? 2 of. I'm concerned when you seem so calm when thinking about dying. 3 of 4. Promise me you'll love Ash. 4 of. It does. System.
Okay, do we want to be
It doesn't seem like. Why are you
Kinda-
promise me you'll love Ash.
snarky or...
Why are you holding out on? I'm concerned when you seem.
I'll just ask why, I guess, because, you know, why not, I guess.
Why are you holding out on speaking with Luthor? Red text person. Do you intend to help him or not? 2 of 4
Okay.
respond. Why are you holding out on speaking with Luthor? Messages. Red message. Respond. Red message. I can't speak directly with him yet.
I mean... is that... Okay, well, is that why, you... friggin' made me say all the weird cryptic stuff? Like, okay.
Red message. Even our communication is limited.
Is it though? Is it? How would I know?
Red message. Your message and the red text were not transmitted.
I mean, is that why? Because it's not transmitted? Is that... I don't know. I don't get this kind of stuff. I would try to rationalize this, but I genuinely don't get how this works, so... can't. So,
The participants of the trials came filing into the courtyard led by the proprietor, High Major Val Allider.
That is a long name.
With Ash in arm, Luthor stepped closer to the area where the participants are marching. All of the participants are adults except for 2 teenagers with brilliant red hair. Val Allider floated in front of the participants on friend Helena when she waved at the teenagers with red hair.
I'm guessing those are, you know, the famous Ignuses, as that we've heard so much about, you know? No, the fact that they're the only teenagers, though, like, I guess that's either brave or kind of reckless. So, yeah.
I guess those 2 must be Scarlet and Sol Ignis.
Yep, kind of, yeah. Agree.
Scarlet has extremely straight, shoulder-length hair with the ends forming
I love how that says extremely straight. Like, it can't just be straight. It has to be extremely straight. Okay, anyway.
Scarlet has extremely straight, shoulder-length hair with the ends forming a perfect horizontal line. She is wearing many layers of clothing that seem to be weighing her down.
Well, sure, I guess.
Sol has fluffy red hair and is wearing a tank top and shorts, showing off his toned, muscled arms and legs. Sol has fluffy red hair and is wearing a tank top and shorts, showing off his toned, muscled arms and legs. His eyes are large with wonder as he looks around the courtyard. Scarlet looks straight forward. Her shoes are Scarlet looks straight forward. Her shoes are softly glowing red.
Interesting. Okay. Glowing shoes.
I wonder if it was hard for Scarlet to have a brother she couldn't be honest with and made her feel like she had to tiptoe around his feelings.
It must be. Like, that genuinely just sounds like a nightmare. I don't even know how she did it. Or
Luthor
does
shook
it?
his head and hugged Ash, who had fallen asleep in Luthor's arms.
Oh my gosh.
Not that I know how to be a great brother.
Well, I mean, you're not freaking doing anything bad to Ash right now, so, you know.
Helena turned around to Luthor and waved at him to come over. With all these people around, I've been thinking of secret gestures I could do to communicate with you when I can't respond out loud. From now on, if I tap my finger once it'll mean yes, twice will mean no. Even if I don't end up using these gestures, there's no harm in increasing our options for communicating.
That is true, you know. Why not? Why not?
System message. Got it. Once means yes, twice means no. 1 of 2 I don't like being limited to yes or no questions. 2 of 2. Got it.
Okay, I'm not gonna be whiny. Well, actually, I think it's been ages since I've been whiny, guys. Can you even name the last time I've been whiny? You know what?
I don't like being limited to yes or no questions.
I'm gonna be whiny.
don't-
I'm gonna whine right now, and I'm gonna probably seem like a little 10-year-old.
Responded. I'm not limiting you to polar questions.
Okay, he's just being the reasonable one. Oh my gosh.
I'm only limiting my answers to you when it's not convenient for me to talk.
That is true. That was very weird of me to press, guys. I'm kind of not happy that I did that.
Luthor started to make his way over to his parents, but caught Val Allider staring at him.
Well, that's great. Weird floating guy who just let in the participant.
Val Allider actually halted and locked gazes with Luthor. The trial participants piled behind him. People followed Val Allider's gaze and looked at Luthor too. Luthor's parents turned around and looked at their son with puzzled expressions. After a while, Val Allider resumed walking again.
That was strange. Maybe you wanted a staring contest to, you know, warm up to the feeling of the trials. Or I don't know.
That was weird.
Yeah, getting that vibe, you know.
Luthor paused. I may be reaching, but I suspect that Val Elidar's weird behavior just now has something to do with the pocket watch.
That is a far shot, but I mean, sure? Anything's possible, but like, I don't know why. Why do you
Val
think?
Elidar has never paid me any attention before, so why today of all days? Luthor paused,
I mean,
looking
yeah.
thoughtful.
A lot of things have happened today, but I feel like, I don't know if it's to do with the pocket watch, like, don't know, who knows?
Today, I connected to you through the pocket watch.
Yep, that
Today,
happened.
I met someone who knew the name Chronos Timecrest.
Well, actually, I connected to you, like, weeks ago, but no, anyway.
Today, I met someone who knew the name Chronos Timecrest.
Yeah, that
Today,
happened too.
someone else messaged me through the pocket watch telling me to die.
Well, yeah, but that was also dark, so I don't
think it's a coincidence Val Elidar noticed me today.
Again, I'm not sure, like, I don't think I agree with you quite yet. I might in the future, in, like, I don't know how long. But, for now, I don't know. Like, I feel like it's a kind of a far, like, assumption to, like, assume that, like, it was because of the pocket watch, so.
Luthor began walking over to Val Elidar.
Well, maybe don't do that, you know.
I'm going to ask him about Chronos Timecrest.
Yeah, well, I don't think this is a good idea. This guy's literally, like, friggin' king of confrontation, literally.
Val Elidar is a powerful mate and one of the oldest Valdorians. He has lived many lifetimes before Janos was even born.
Yeah, cool, but, like, I don't think you should talk to the guy. Like, just because he's friggin' staring at you doesn't mean that he wants to talk to you, you know? Who knows?
Maybe.
Maybe I don't know anything, though, so I don't know.
Luthor paused again. I'm putting the pocket watch at risk talking to Val Elidar, but I feel strongly about my hunch.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you should friggin' confront the guy. Like, I don't know about that, guys.
And it's either this or die or hope for Valdor to show up again. I prefer acting tonight before ending up under my parents' surveillance for a month.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. I don't know, guys. I don't really agree with this, but okay.
Luthor is making his way through the crowd of non-Valdorian guests who surrounded Val Elidar and the trial participants. A hand grabbed onto Luthor's arm. Luthor looked over his shoulder at his father. Julia said, "Where are you going, Luthor?"
To talk to the guy, you know, very normal thing.
"I want to talk to High Mage Val Elidar." Julius pulled his son away from the crowd of non-Valdorian guests. He said, "The High Mage gave you a strange look. Do you know what that was about? Are you..."
Oh my gosh, I need to
Julius pulled his
stop.
son away from the crowd of non-Valdorian guests. He said, "The High Mage gave you a strange look. Do you know what that was about? Are you in some sort of trouble?" Luthor shook his head. "I have a hunch Val Elidar knows something about Chronos Timecrest. I want to see if I can't get any information out of him, Dad." Julia said, "That's not a good idea, Luthor. Val Elidar hates humans and you've seen how his trials are. He doesn't care if people get slaughtered. He encourages children to enter his trials knowing they don't have the skills to survive.
Oh my...
I don't want you to anger someone like that."
Yeah, that further proves my point. I didn't even know that, and like, that further proves my point. Thank you for helping, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'm being kind of unreasonable for wanting Luthor to stay away from that guy, but yeah, I don't know. Hunches aren't to be trusted always, you know.
Luthor tightened his grip on Ash.
Wish we had a say in this, but yeah.
Julia said, "Besides, I've already tried talking to him. When we are in a good standing with King Janos, I tried asking around about Chronos." Julia said, "Even if the King or the High Mage knows anything about the Time Manipulator, it does not seem like they are willing to share with us."
Good point. Yeah.
Dad, don't you think that it's weird that Val Elidar stood still and looked directly at me on the same day I activated the pocket watch?
It's a big coincidence. Like, I honestly don't think this has anything to do with the pocket watch, to be honest.
I have a feeling today is different and maybe Val Elidar will tell me something. Julia said, "Did the stranger on the watch put you up to this?"
No. I would do the opposite if I could.
No. Julius frowned and said, "Can I talk to you in private?" Luthor narrowed his eyes at Julius. "Dad, Val Elidar just finished giving his speech to the participants. This is my chance before he goes into the reception hall for the private ceremony Valdorians have." Julius continued to hold onto Luthor's arm as he said, "Please close the pocket watch. Luthor. Julius continued to hold onto Luthor's arm as he said, "Please close the pocket watch. Luthor. I want to talk to you alone." Luthor sighed as he handed Ash to Julius and took out the pocket watch.
Oh
Luthor held the
no.
watch in his hand without handing it over to Julius. Julius said, "Luthor, believe that your mother and I are on your side. Do you believe that?" Luthor held onto the watch and looked in the direction of Val Elder.
Oh,
The
come
High
on.
Mage glanced at Luthor again as he made his way towards the reception hall. Julius said, "Close the watch, Luthor." He paused and said, "I'm fine if you see me as an enemy. I'll become your greatest enemy if it means keeping you safe." Ash woke up in Julius' arms and started crying.
Oh no.
Luthor swallowed hard and closed the pocket watch. System message, connection lost. 23 minutes 25 seconds.
Okay, 20 minutes. Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't think that was anything to do with the pocket watch. I could be proven wrong though, and I'm ready for that. So, I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens at these trials and what that Val Elder guy is doing with the Val Elder guy with the longest name in history. Okay, bye.
The pocket watch clicked open. Luthor filled cups of water from a refreshment table. He is standing with his back to his parents, who are nearby with Scarlet and Sol Ignis. Luthor filled cups of water from a refreshment table. He is standing with his back to his parents, who are nearby with Scarlet and Sol Ignis. Model 1 is floating by Luthor. Helena said, "Luthor, do you need help carrying the cups?" Luthor quickly took his hand out of his inner jacket pocket and looked over his shoulder. He saw Helena behind him. Luthor quickly took his hand out of his inner jacket pocket and looked over his shoulder. He saw Helena behind him. Julius, cradling a sleeping Ash, is watching Luthor. "No, I'm fine." Luthor passed out cups of water to the Ignis siblings and his mother before rejoining the group. Helena said, "Thank you, Luthor." Julius moved next to Luthor, sandwiching his son between himself and Helena. Luthor sighed. System message, "Did you get to speak with Val Elder?" One of two. I'm assuming this isn't a good time for us to talk. 2. Did you get...
Okay, I'll go for the first one since he can do the gesture things.
Did you get to speak with Val Elder? One of two responded. Luthor heard your message in his head. He frowned and tapped his leg twice.
Okay, that's either an achievement or not. I just know. I still don't think it was to do with the pocket watch even now. You know, it's been 20 minutes. I've had plenty of time to consider. But yeah, no.
The trial participants had mixed in with the non-Valdorian guests. But while the other guests are enjoying themselves, the participants seem tense.
I mean, that's fair. They're gonna apparently be fighting each other to the death or something. I don't know what they're doing, but anyway.
Some participants focused on refooling themselves at the refreshment tables, eating everything they could as if it were their last meal. Some kept to themselves, observing from the sidelines, while others tried to talk to as many other participants as possible.
All interesting tactics, you know?
The only Valdorians nearby are the soldiers guarding the courtyard. Scarlet said, "What type of cupcake is it, Mrs. Reed? I smell something salty."
Oh my gosh, I love Scarlet's track. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. Oh, guys. Okay, anyway.
Helena said, "It's a sea salt chocolate cupcake."
That sounds so nice. Oh my gosh. I don't, do people sell that, here? If they do, I've never had that, and I need to have that. That just sounds so nice.
Sol looked at his sister and said, "The cupcake and frosting are both brown. There are white crystals sprinkled on top of the frosting. I'm guessing that's the sea salt." Scarlet smiled and said, "Thank you, brother, for describing it to me." When she spoke, Scarlet looked in the direction of Sol, but her pale, sunrise-colored eyes did not focus on him. The Ignis siblings began eating their cupcakes. Sol dug into the cake, frosting getting on his lips and the corners of his mouth, crumbs dropping everywhere. He ate the whole cupcake in a matter of seconds and chugged down the water.
Oh my gosh. That is... No. That is literally the opposite of what I do. Oh my gosh.
Scarlet ate slower, in a deliberate manner, licking her way bit by bit through the top layers of frosting.
Oh, that sounds so nice. I'm sorry.
Scarlet said, "MMMHMMM. I haven't had chocolate in forever. I wish I could eat it all the time." Sol
we
blushed
all?
and said, "Sheesh, if I knew you wanted to have chocolate so much, Scar, I'd have bought you all the chocolate."
Okay, Sol... Update. Sol seems kinda nicer. He doesn't seem that jerky and weird and he's gonna burn everyone alive, but who knows? Let's see.
Scarlet said, "Right. Thank you." Scarlet said, "Right. Thank you, brother. I should have told you that I wanted it." Sol said, "After we win these trials, we'll feast on chocolate."
That just sounds so nice.
Luthor eyed the glowing hand Scarlet used to hold the cupcake. "Scarlet, My mum told me you could use fire magic to sense your surroundings. Can you tell me how it works? Scarlet stopped eating and turned to Luthor. She said with a smile, I'm infusing some of my body heat into the cupcake so I can sense its shape.
Oh, wow. That kind of sounds interesting, actually.
Luthor tilted his head and eyed the heavy clothing Scarlet is wearing. Body heat? Then are you wearing all those extra layers of clothing to help you regenerate body heat?
That actually makes a lot of sense now that I think about it. Oh my gosh.
Scarlet nodded and said, I can sense shapes, but not details and... Sol gave Scarlet a nudge and said in a low voice, Sol gave Scarlet a nudge and said in a low voice, Scar, don't say your powers out loud. Our competition thinks you're completely blind. Let's keep it that way so we have the element of surprise if we need it.
Yeah, that would probably actually be a smart idea.
Scarlet said, but Luthor is not competing in the trials. Brother, I don't see any harm in explaining how I use fire magic to see the world.
I mean, yeah, but I guess, like, who knows who could be listening, but yeah, I don't know.
I'm interested in learning more. Scarlet, people tend to use fire magic destructively, but it looks like you found another approach.
Yeah, I'm genuinely curious to, like, find out more how she uses it, because that actually sounds so nice to just be able to... I mean, not nice. I mean, like, I don't know, interesting? To be able to, like, sense shapes and all, you know, with fire magic?
Scarlet smiled and started to speak again, but Sol said, the other participants could overhear. You should actually turn off your powers. I can't just describe things to you.
Well...
Scarlet paused before nodding. Both her hand holding the cupcake and her shoes stopped glowing red. Scarlet paused before nodding. Both her hand holding the cupcake and her shoes stopped glowing red. She said, you're right, Sol. Helena cleared her throat and said, that's really smart thinking, Sol.
Not the whole praise thing again.
Sol flashed a huge smile.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? This guy.
Helena said, Scarlet and Sol, tell me, ellipses, why do you both want to join Valdor? I'm just worried about you two. We've seen quite a few of these trials and people get hurt badly. Besides, Valdorians are, ellipses, very snobby towards everyone else. I'm not sure you'll enjoy working for them. Scarlet said, it's our turn to support our father and Valdor pays better than any gold. Sol said, but we don't need the gold. I don't mind getting paid, but we want to join the Valdorian army because they have strong mages that we can learn from.
Are they Valdorian then? I'm guessing you have to be Valdorian to join the trials? I don't know.
Scarlet said, right, we don't need the gold. Sol looked at Julius and said, Mr. Reed, I heard from Miss Lena, Mrs. Reed that your family was invited because you helped design and construct parts of the Valdorian palace. Did you get to meet?
Oh my gosh,
Sol
sorry.
looked at Julius and said, Mr. Reed, I heard from Miss Lena, Mrs. Reed that your family was invited because you helped design and construct parts of the Valdorian palace. Did you get to meet King Janos? How do you like working for Valdor? Julius was looking at Luthor and didn't seem to hear Sol.
Okay.
Sol said, Mr. Reed. Julius looked briefly at Sol and said, it's not Reed. It's Tom. Julius looked briefly at Sol and said, it's not Reed. It's Timecrest.
Oh, that's kind of awkward.
Luthor lowered his gaze. Sol blinked and said, Sir, I thought your last name was Reed. Helena glanced at her husband before she said, Julia's last name is Reed, but we decided to change our names to Timecrest. But you can just call my husband Julius and I would love it if you still called me Miss Lena like you used to when I was your teacher. Scarlet said, Miss Lena, ellipsis. Her lips curled into a warm smile as she said the name. Scarlet
Oh my
said,
gosh, I need to
Helena
stop
said,
scrolling past
I missed you both too. I can't say I loved teaching.
Where?
Scarlet said, Miss Lena, ellipsis. Her lips curled into a warm smile as she said the name. Scarlet said, we miss you so much, Miss Lena. Helena said, I missed you both too. I can't say I loved teaching, but you two made my days at the schoolyard more enjoyable.
Yeah, Scarlet seems okay. Sol, he doesn't seem as bad, but like, I don't know, I don't like him much. He's a bit, I don't know, I don't like the way that he keeps, like, wanting praise and all, and, like, I don't know, accepting it and stuff for no reason. Scarlet, though, Scarlet is, like, genuinely surprisingly nice. Like, I was not expecting this. Scarlet is so nice. Like, I genuinely want to know her more and all.
Saul said, why did you decide to change your last name to Timecrest? Julia said, we want to support our son Luthor, to let him know no matter what we're on his side. Luthor clenched his hands into fists.
Oh, that's awkward. Oh my gosh.
Saul narrowed his eyes and said, what does that have to do with changing your last name?
Yeah, ignore that question, you know, just, yeah, I don't know.
Helena glanced at her husband again, before she smiled and put an arm around Luthor. She said, Helena glanced at her husband again, before she smiled and put an arm around Luthor. She said, Luthor here is passionate about time magic. He wants to become a time mage in the future, Anjulie, and I wanted to show our support by changing our last name to one that sounded fitting for a time mage. A moment of silence fell amongst the group as Sol eyed Luthor.
No, okay, well.
Sol continued to eye Luthor. After a while he laughed and said, "A time mage? Huh? You certainly have big dreams, Luthor."
This guy, I swear, I don't know, he's literally dropping down my, dislike meter. I don't know what it is.
He said, "Don't you think if controlling time were possible, the first mage would have been able to do it, or someone else would have discovered it by now? Magic has been around for a long time after all. It wasn't until recently that we learned that magic can be stored into containers and used at a later time. And no mage has been able to see the aura in everything like the first mage can. Don't you think there's a lot more to magic that we don't know?" Sol frowned and turned to Helena. He said, "Miss Lena, both you and Mr. Reed can't use magic, right? I remember." He said, "Miss Lena, both you and Mr. Reed can't use magic, right? I remember you telling us that you didn't want to date a mage because they get themselves into dangerous situations." Scarlet quietly finished her cupcake. Luthor narrowed his eyes, but Helena gave Luthor's shoulder a hard squeeze. She started to open her mouth, but Julius looked at Sol and said, "I told you my last name is Timecrest. Please refer to me as Mr. Timecrest." Helena took a deep breath and said, "We just love the name." The group fell silent for a bit.
This is going splendidly.
Sol crossed his arms and said, "Those ore containers you spoke about, Luthor, you know the Empire's mages invented those, right?"
Yeah, well, not really. That's not true.
Sol said, "Joining Valdor will ensure we're around the best. You actually inspired me into researching time magic, Luthor. I'll be sure to let Miss Lena know when I come up with something." System message, Luthor is waiting.
I don't know about this guy. I don't know. He isn't, I don't know. I don't know. I just get like a bad feeling about him, if that makes sense. Maybe it's not even just because I saw him like kill a bunch of stuff. Kill a bunch of stuff? Oh, kill a bunch of people in the copper trials. I don't know. It's just he's a bit, bratty. I don't know.
Red text person, do you know what Luthor and his dad talked about? One of two Red text person, what do you think of Scarlet and Sol, Ignis? 2 of 2 responses.
Yeah, again, we're being the counterpart who keeps loving to talk to this random red text person, but, you know, I've no choice, so.
Red text person, what do you think of Scarlet and Sol, Ignis? Red message, Scarlet is the one we need.
Okay, but, like, what does that mean?
Red message, your message and the red text were not transmitted to Luthor. An elder male voice said, "You are Luthor Timecrest." Luthor took a few steps back as Val Elder phased in front of him.
Oh my gosh! Oh my... Okay, teleportation is cool and all, but like, someone just teleporting right in front of you is, yeah. And especially if it's this random, like, really powerful guy, like, yeah, I don't know.
Val Elder, a youthful-looking senior only showing slight signs of aging despite living many lifetimes, floated above the ground as he looked down at Luthor over the bridge of his nose.
This guy, I swear, I don't know.
Sol's mouth dropped and Scarlet looked surprised. Sol's mouth dropped and Scarlet looked surprised. She whispered to Sol, "Is someone there?"
Yes, Scarlet, someone is.
Sol swallowed hard, but didn't reply. Julius snapped out of his daze and said, "I'm surprised to see you outside. Hi, Mage Val Elder. Is the ceremony..."
Oh
Julius
my... okay, I swear, guys, this is the last time. I need to stop scrolling past stuff.
Julius snapped out of his daze and said, "I'm surprised to see you outside. Hi, Mage Val Elder. Is the ceremony inside the reception hall with King Janos over?" Val Elder said, "No, but I must speak with Luthor Timecrest." The High Mage took off his glove and scratched his arm as if he had an unbearable itch, before placing his glove back on his hand again.
Why? Why? Okay, some really important ceremony and he just, like, left, okay?
He locked gazes with Luthor and said, "I wanted to speak to you ever since I led the participants out and saw you from afar."
Okay.
Helena smiled, but the corners of her lips twitched as she said, "Please tell us what you'd like to say. Hi, Mage Val Elder. You look..." Helena smiled, but the corners of her lips twitched as she said, "Please tell us what you'd like to say. Hi, Mage Val Elder. You look so serious that you're making me nervous." Sol said, "Hi, Mage Val Elder. My name is Sol."
That's it. That's the most random thing to say. Oh my gosh, okay.
Val Elder said, "Be quiet. Leave my sight now." Sol stiffened. Scarlet's shoes began to glow and she wrapped one arm around Sol's arm, dragging him away. Sol stiffened. Scarlet's shoes began to glow and she wrapped one arm around Sol's arm, dragging him away. With a shocked and irritated expression, Sol looked over his shoulder the whole time as they distanced themselves from Val Elder. Val Elder raised one hand and the pocket watch floated through Luthor's jacket. At the same time, the glove on Val Elder's raised hand dropped to the ground and revealed a semi-transparent hand underneath.
Oh my gosh, this guy, what is he?
Luthor's eyes widened as he made a frantic grab for the watch, but his hand went right through, and the watch floated into Val Elder's gloved hand.
Oh my... What?
Julia sighed the opened watch lid. The semi-transparent hand that Val Elder had raised transformed back into a normal-looking hand.
That's so weird. Oh my... What?
Luthor swallowed hard. Val Elder said, "You have activated the pocket watch, but haven't been successful in speaking with the time manipulator."
Okay, so, I did say that I was ready to be proven wrong about, like, this guy being something to do with the pocket watch, but, like, in this way? Why does everyone in this world just, like, know about this pocket watch? Like, it was literally the complete opposite when talking to Ash. Like, the only one who kind of knew about it was, like, the hooded man, maybe? Like, but, like, I don't know, it's so weird. Okay.
Luthor narrowed his eyes as Julius and Elena glanced at each other. Julius said, "We don't know what you're talking about, High Mage." Luthor stepped towards Val Elder. "Tell me how to speak with the time manipulator." Val Elder said, "Complete the mage trials tonight." Helena's voice cracked and said, "That's ridiculous. There's no point for my son to participate in the trials. He can join the Valdorian army." Julius stepped in between Val Elder and Luthor and said, "I can't agree to this, High Mage Val Elder. If you continue to request that Luthor joins the trials, I will have to speak with King Janos about it." Val Elder said, "I don't want your son to join our army. I want Luthor Timecrest dead."
Well, yeah, totally join these trials, Luthor. You know, that's a great idea.
Helena balled her hands up into fists and tried to lunge at Val Elder, but he dodged her easily. Ash started crying in Julia's arms.
Oh no.
Model 1 said, "I cannot allow you to. Stay out of it, Model 1. Luthor stepped out from behind his father and looked at his parents. "Stay out of it, Mum and Dad."
No, don't tell me No, don't tell me he's actually gonna do it. No, guys.
He looked up at Val Elder. "If I get through your trials, you'll tell me how I can speak with time manipulator Kronos?" Helena looked like her eyes were about to pop out of her skull. She shook her head and grabbed onto Luthor's arms. She said, No, we're leaving." Val Elder said, "Do as I say and you'll find the answer you seek, Luthor Timecrest." "Okay, I'll enter."
No, I swear this guy, he has no point in entering. He already got, like, told the only answer. And, like, literally, the person himself, the time manipulator himself, or them, said that, like, the only way to do it is to die. The only way. Like, no, don't enter the trials. This guy just said he wants you dead. Like, what are you doing? I swear.
Julius and Helena both said in unison, "You will do no such thing." Ash reached out both hands to Luthor. Luthor looked at Val Elder. "I'll enter on one more condition." Val Elder said, "You're in no position to negotiate." He scratched himself on the arm again. "If I win your mage trials, you'll tell me how to speak with the time manipulator and you'll ensure that no one else dies in your trials again."
This guy is not gonna keep his word. This guy is not gonna keep his word. Guys, please. I swear, he can't actually enter the trial. Like, there's no.
Val Elder paused and continued to scratch himself. He seemed to be fighting an inner battle.
What's with the whole scratching thing?
He finally said, "Fine, but you won't win." "How are you so sure I'm going to fail?" Val Elder smiled and said, "Because this world is not made for you, Luthor Timecrest." Val Elder said, "This world is for people who are willing to go all the way and you're not." System message. "Can you ask Val Elder why he wants you dead, Luthor? 1 of 2. Did you have something to do with this? Red text person. 2 of 2.
I mean, I don't know why the red text person would, because they, like, said that Luthor has to die, but I'm gonna ask this anyway. Just because, I don't know. Like, this is so weird.
Red message. Everything is going to plan. Smiley face emoji.
that could be a yes, and I'm not happy about that. If this is actually to do with the red text person, I'm actually not, I don't want Luthor to actually speak to this guy, like, no.
Red message. Your message and the red text were not transmitted to Luthor. Julius looked up at the open lid on the pocket watch. His expression angry. He said, "You and the watch. Leave my son alone." What kind? Julius looked up at the open lid on the pocket watch. His expression angry. He said, "You and the watch. Leave my son alone." What kind of person would trick a kid like this?
It's not my fault, I didn't do it, but yeah, well, the other person did, apparently. Yeah, red text person, I don't know what to think about that guy. Like, in one sense, I kind of want to trust him because Luthor trusts him, but then he told Luthor to die, and now he might have something to do with this guy, entering Luthor into the trials. But you know what? Maybe Luthor won't die. I don't know.
Stop it, Dad. This is my decision. I'm being the disobedient son again. Blame me. Model 1 said, "Luthor, I know your goal is to speak with the time manipulator, but I also do not want you to put your own life at risk." Helena said, "I've let this farce go on long enough." She grabbed onto Luthor's arms and started pulling him away. Luthor broke free of Helena and faced his parents. "You two never believed me." Luthor looked at Julius. "I told you the truth, Dad. The actual truth. Everything. And what did you do? Did you believe me?" Helena started shaking and Julius opened his mouth, but words couldn't come out.
Now I feel bad for his parents, but also, I mean, okay, that's a valid point, but I don't agree with what you're doing. Okay, this is not to do with anything that's actually going on, but I do agree that, like, they should have believed you or at least taken your words into account. But still, like, this is not the right thing to do. I really, really, really would, I want there to be, like, a part where, like, I can actually say for Luthor not to go into the trials. I really hope that comes up, like a choice.
You two never understood me. You may have changed your last names, but I've always felt like I was the only Timecrest. Val Elder arched his brow at Luthor as he rolled the pocket watch around in his hand before snapping the lid shut on the pocket watch. System message. Connection lost. 28 minutes 54 seconds. Val El-
Okay, so this was going downhill and it just went even further. It just went down like a friggin' mountain or something. Like, I don't like the look of that timer because I'm assuming when it's over, either Luthor's gonna have reconsidered or Luthor's gonna be like part of the trials, and no, guys, this is just going wrong. I don't want Luthor to join the trials because I honestly don't think that, like, this is good. I don't know though. Like, if the red text person is involved and actually does want to talk to Luthor, then, like, maybe Luthor doesn't die. I don't know, guys. I don't know motives at this point at all. Like, I don't know anyone's motives, and I'm confused, and yeah, bye.
The watch clicked open and Luthor placed the watch back in his inner jacket pocket, an expression of relief on his face. He is standing beside Val Elder, facing the group of participants. He is standing beside Val Elder, facing the group of participants. The group had gathered in a secluded garden area surrounded by Valdorian guards and tall shrubbery under the cloudy night sky.
Yeah, he's gonna join them, isn't he? I don't even know. Like, no.
The ground of the secluded garden area is covered by a large teleportation glyph. Luthor's family, Model 1 and other non-Valdorian guests were not present in the area. Val Elder said, "This is Luthor Timecrest. He will be entering into the trials tonight."
Oh my gosh, this is such a big mistake, I have a feeling, but again, who knows, like, maybe it'll, like, be turned around and, like, Luthor won't die, or, like, nothing that bad will happen, considering, like, the time manipulator did it, or, like, had a part in it. I don't know.
Luthor's relieved expression faded as he glanced at the other participants. None of them look happy. Some of them look very unhappy. Luthor's eyes settled on Sol and Scarlet Ignis in the crowd. Sol has his arms crossed and a frown on his face. Scarlet looks worried. Val Elder said, "You all look upset at having extra competition. But Luthor is no threat. He is not willing to kill anyone tonight." Some participants snickered and licked their lips as they heard this.
Yeah, these people are, not very, you know... I mean, they are joining the Valdorian army, so can't blame them, I guess.
Val Elder said, "Luthor thinks he can beat someone who is willing to give up more. He is wrong." Val Elder said, Luthor stood firmly and turned to Val Elder. "You promised me that no one else will have to die if I win these trials." Repeat your promise in front of everyone. I don't want you. Repeat your promise in front of everyone. I don't want you to go back on your word. High Mage Val Elder.
I don't know. The fact that you believe him, I mean, it's a nice thing to do and all, but this guy cannot be trusted.
Scarlet perked up, while Sol's frown deepened. Scarlet perked up, while Sol's frown deepened. A mixed bag of emotions played out on the other participants' faces. Val Elder scratched his arm as he silently regarded Luthor with his steely-eyed gaze. After a while, Val Elder faced the participants and said, I, Rudel Val Elder, promise that if Luthor Timecrest wins the trials, I shall prevent killing in all future Valdorian trials. Expressions of shock spread quickly across the participants' faces.
No, there is no way this guy's actually gonna do that. There is actually no way he's gonna do it. Like,
And if you die? Gasps could be heard from some of the participants. Val Elder paused before he said, When I die, my successor and future proprietor of these trials will continue this promise. Val Elder said, All you have to do, Luthor, is win. I just want to... Val Elder said, All you have to do, Luthor, is win. I just want to be clear that killing someone won't disqualify you from this promise. I am not going to kill anyone. Luthor paused. What are the challenges? Val Elder said, I will announce the challenges when you are all inside the arena. Val Elder faced the participants and said, Until the trials begin, you may talk amongst yourselves, but you are not allowed to leave this area. Without another word, Val Elder phased away.
I would say that went well, but I don't think I can even say that sarcastically at this point.
Luthor faced the participants. Let's work together. Luthor looked at the Valdorian guards standing by, but none of them stirred from their post. Luthor turned back. Luthor looked at the Valdorian guards standing by, but none of them stirred from their post. Luthor turned back to the participants and smiled. No matter what the challenges are tonight, let's work together, everyone.
Yeah, I don't know how that's gonna go.
Just think, tonight can be the first Valdorian trials where no one dies. Sol said, By work together, you mean, let you win. Some participants glanced nervously at the Valdorian guards standing nearby, but the guards are just looking on, expressionless. Valdor's challenges will push us to kill each other, no doubt. Let's agree to work together so at least no one dies tonight. But if I win, you can enter into these trials in the future when your safety is guaranteed. The participants looked at each other, considering Luthor's words.
I mean, it'd be nice if they agreed.
Sol said, failures have to wait 4 years before they can reapply. He said, and what if High Mage Val Elder won't let anyone who works with you reapply? What then? Die tonight and everything ends for you. Scarlet raised her hand and touched Sol's arm. Sol's expression softened for a bit. Scarlet said, Sol, I think we should help Luthor. Even if we can't work for Valdor, we'll still do okay for ourselves in the guild.
Again, Scarlet, like, you see what I mean? Like, Scarlet just seems like such a nice person. Like, I was not expecting this going in. But, Sol is definitely, kind of as was expected, you know?
Sol's mouth dropped open a little, before it twisted in a frown as he said, We agreed on Valdor. Scarlet furrowed her brows and said, Brother, ellipses, I never. Sol tore his arm away from Scarlet and pushed his way through the participants until he stood facing Luthor. Sol sneered and said, You don't make any sense to me, Luthor. You want stuff, but you're not willing to do the hard things for it. Instead, do you want us to give up on our goals to help you?
This guy, like, I don't know.
Sol said, Well, I worked hard to be here. He said, Do you know how much Valdorian history I memorized to pass the written exam for these trials? Sol said, I hate history, but I pushed myself to study until my head felt like it was going to split open. Sol said, I didn't see you at the written exams, Luthor. Sol lifted his shirt, showing a chest full of wounds. He said, I pushed myself beyond all of my limits training my magic. Where are your scars, Luthor? Some of the participants nodded.
Okay, that's a fair point and all, but like, you could just like stop people dying. But again, I don't know. This is probably rigged. Like, I don't know, guys. I don't know what to theorize here. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen. I genuinely have absolutely no idea. Like,
Sol said, I earned my place in this trial, unlike you, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to win. Sol locked gazes with Luthor and said, I'm not going to let you take away something that belongs to me, Luthor Timecrest. Not again.
Again? What? And also, yeah, that's such a thing that Sol Ignis would say. This guy is, just as unlikable as before.
Luthor arched his brow as he considered Sol's statement. Sol turned to the participants and pointed one thumb over his shoulder at Luthor. Sol said, "Are we going to let all the hard work we did to get here go to waste for some kid's stupid fantasy where we all work together in love and harmony?" Luthor shook his head and clenched his fist. "Are you willing to win at the cost of your sister's life?" Sol stiffened, his face shocked and confused. He looked over his shoulder at Luthor and stammered, What kind of question is that?" "A fair one. You just said you're willing to do anything to win." Luthor pointed at Scarlet, who was fretting. "Are you willing to kill your sister to win? Are you willing to let others here kill her to win?"
Kind of harsh, but also kind of a fair point too, you know?
Sol glanced at Scarlet and swallowed hard before he said, "Of course not. My sister and I are going to win together." Sol said, "I'm going to beat anyone here who tries to hurt me or my sister. I don't know why any of us should be listening to a hothead who is just out for his own gains." Sol whirled around and bared his teeth at Luthor. He said, "Shut up. I'm going to."
What are you...
One of the participants called out, "Why don't you shut up, hothead? All your yapping is giving me a bigger headache than the Valdorian history exam."
I'm sorry. That is kind of funny. That is kind of funny. Like...
Some participants started snickering at Sol.
This is actually amazing. This guy kind of deserves it, I'm not gonna lie, like...
Sol turned and raised both fists towards the participants. Sol turned and raised both fists towards the participants. Sol said, "Who said that? I'm going..." Sol turned and raised both fists towards the participants. Sol said, "Who said that? I'm going to burn whoever said that." Someone near the front said, "Oh, so you're a fire mage, I assume." Sol frowned and said, "So what? It doesn't matter if you know what kind of magic I can cast. You're all going to lose to me." Luthor sighed. Scarlet approached Sol, her shoes glowing red, but he turned and stormed away from the group, only stopping when Valdorian guards blocked his way. System message. "Luthor, can we go talk to Sol?" One of two respond. "Luthor, can we go talk to Scarlet?"
Okay, I want to talk to Scarlet. Like, she just intrigues me. And also, I don't know.
"Luthor, can we go talk to Scarlet?" Responded Luthor.
Scarlet seems like the reasonable one in this random group of people. And we kind of know her. I mean, for, like... You know, we know her for like 10 minutes, but we still kind of know her. Like, we know her better than any others. And again, she is, like, reasonable.
Luthor took a deep breath and tapped his leg once, before walking towards Scarlet. He neared Scarlet. "Hey, Scarlet." Scarlet turned to him. "Do you really want to be in these trials? I noticed some hesitation earlier." Back.
Oh my gosh.
"Then don't kill it." "Do you really want to be..." She sighed and said, "I don't." Ellipses. "I don't want to kill anyone." Ellipses.
Okay, again, like, that makes her kind of more on our side as well, because she doesn't want to kill anyone either. Like, I honestly think if we get a chance, I want to work with Scarlet. Like, like, in the trials or whatever. Like, she just seems so, like, I don't know, nice, reasonable. I don't know.
Luthor looked around. Luthor looked around. The other participants are staring at him and Scarlet. Luthor said quietly, Then don't kill anyone. Then don't kill anyone. You can still quit." Scarlet wrung her hands together and said, "But my brother won't quit and I want to stay by his side." Why Valdor? You said yourself that you and Sol can do well in the guild." Scarlet shook her head and said, "My brother has good reason for wanting this." "Your brother seems to hate me even though we just met."
Yeah, what?
"Does he have good reason for that too?" "Your brother said he won't let me take away something that belongs to him again. What does he mean?" Scarlet took a deep breath and said, "Miss Lena leaving was hard on the both of us." Luthor sighed. I figured as much. He thinks my mum belongs to him."
Well, that's, selfish 9.0, like... He's her son! Like... Okay, well, anyway.
"And Sol hates me for stealing my mum away from him."
That is very petty, I'm sorry, but that is the most petty thing in existence.
Luthor shook his head and sighed again. "I hope you at least realize how crazy it is for Sol to be angry with me, Scarlet." Scarlet said, "My brother craves being loved, and when he finds love, he doesn't want to let it go. Scarlet said, "My brother craves being loved, and when he finds love, he doesn't want to let it go. I wish my love was enough for him, but unfortunately it isn't, and I want Sol to be happy." "So you're here for him?" Scarlet said, "I also want to learn from the Valdorian mages. Magic has allowed me to sense the world in a different way, a world filled with warmth."
Yeah, that's a good point too, but still, I don't know. She's too nice to be part of the part of the Valdorians, guys. Please give this video a like if you agree. Like, come on. Scarlet. He's just too nice for this.
Scarlet said, I also want to learn from the Valdorian mages. Magic has allowed me to sense the world in a different way. A world like what? Scarlet said, I shouldn't be discussing that when there are other participants around.
Good point.
Are you going to kill for Sol? Scarlet gulped and stammered, I am not here to kill anyone. Riley burst past the guards and said, Luthor.
Oh my... That was so sudden, I'm not even gonna lie. That was so sudden. Oh.
All heads turned in her direction as Riley ran up to Luthor, the train of her long red and gold dress flowing behind her. Her dress is lined with small red jewels that sparkle brightly even in the dim lighting of the secluded garden area.
Well, hello, Riley. How's life? I don't know.
Her brown hair, which had grown naturally beyond her shoulders, was curled and extended with fake locks of golden hair. One side of her hair was pulled back and was held in place by a dazzling and glowing red stone.
The way my voice was so dazzling.
Most participants looked confused at the sight of the opulently dressed young girl, but soon they began to bow and kneel when they realized they were in the presence of Valdorian royalty. One of the Valdorian guards left his post while the rest focused their attention on the princess. Riley stopped in front of Luthor, her face pale and worried. She said, Luthor, why are you participating in the trials tonight?
Very good question, but yeah.
Sol gawked from the distance, frozen at the sight of Princess Riley speaking to Luthor.
I'm sorry! That is so funny. He literally deserves that there. Take that, you.
Scarlet said, are people around us kneeling? Luthor, who is this young girl in front of us?
Princess Riley Valdor of Valdor.
Riley blinked, as if seeing Scarlet for the first time, and said, oh, unreal, ellipsis. She covered her mouth and looked around at the Valdorian guards. Riley curtsied gracefully and said, I'm First Princess Riley Valdor, heirs to the Empire. She held up her wrist showing off her Valdorian tattoo and said, our blood blesses us. Riley took a deep breath and said, it's a pleasure to meet you, miss. Scarlet took a moment before Riley's words sank in. She covered her mouth and tried to bow, but the layers of clothing Scarlet wore prevented her from executing the bow gracefully. Scarlet said, nice to meet you, First Princess Riley Valdor. Scarlet said, nice to meet you, First Princess Riley Valdor. My name is Scarlet Ignis. I'm here for the
Oh my...
Scarlet.
Okay.
Scarlet said, nice to meet you, First Princess Riley Valdor. My name is Scarlet Ignis. I'm here for the Valdorian trials. I'm sorry if I offended you by referring to you so casually, but I can't see so ellipses. I hope you'll forgive me. Uh-oh, also my name is Scarlet Ignis. I'm sorry if I forgot to mention that, ellipsis. Don't worry, Scarlet. You don't need to be nervous around Riley. She is one of the nicest people I know. Riley blushed as Scarlet gulped and said, Luthor, you know the Princess of Valdor? Riley looked at Scarlet, then at Luthor and back at Scarlet. Riley looked at Scarlet, then at Luthor and back at Scarlet. She said, Miss, may I ask how you know Luthor? Scarlet said, oh, we just met today. Luthor's mum used to be my teacher. I need to speak with Riley privately for a moment, Scarlet. Riley blushed, but looked happier. She said, I'm sorry to interrupt the conversation you were having with Luthor, Miss Scarlet. Scarlet said, of course not, Princess. You weren't interrupting anything, ellipses. I'll just go, ellipses. Stand, ellipsis. Scarlet gulped again before retreating to a distance, giving...
Oh my gosh, why do I keep doing that?
Scarlet said, of course not, Princess. You weren't interrupting anything, ellipses. I'll just go, ellipses. Stand, ellipsis. Scarlet gulped again before retreating to a distance, giving Luthor and Riley plenty of space. Sol rejoined his sister in the distance. Luthor whispered, what are you doing, Riley? Your father is going to be mad at you. Riley shook her head and said, I don't care. Luthor glanced around at the other participants before saying loudly, you're welcome, Princess. I'm glad you like the floor plan my dad designed for the palace. You're too kind to thank me in person. I'll make sure he gets your message. Riley said, who forced you to participate in tonight's trial? Please, Riley said, who forced you to participate in tonight's trial? Please tell me. I'll help get you out. Luthor motioned to Riley and they moved farther from the participants. Riley, I wasn't forced. This is my decision. Riley swallowed hard and said, why? I don't understand, Luthor. You always despise these trials. You don't even like watching them and now you're participating in one? Why did you want to see me earlier today? Riley furrowed her brows. She said, it's, ellipsis, nothing. She paused and said, tell me what I have to do for you not to participate in these trials, Luthor.
She's actually being so sweet right now.
Luthor stood in front of Riley with his back facing the participants. Luthor reached into his inner jacket pocket and took out a new planter holding the rose. As Riley saw the lavender petals with tinges of blue shades, her eyes widened and she said, "It's so beautiful, Luthor, ellipsis. This rose came through the Alra portal today. I don't think we have anyone's with these colors in Lencia. If you plant it, maybe more will grow in this color, for the day when people forget which things came from the human world and start enjoying the beauty of both worlds again." Riley paused and smiled. She said gently, "That sounds a lot like something your father would say, Luthor." Luthor lowered his gaze and nodded, before looking around at the Valdorian guards. "I know your guards see me giving this to you and it might get taken away just because it's a gift from me. But the renew planter can only preserve it for so long and I'm not sure when I will see you again." Luthor handed the planter to Riley. Riley's bottom lip trembled as she hugged the planter. She said, "Luthor, ellipsis, what do you mean you don't know when you will see me again?" "Don't worry. I didn't mean it like that. I plan to win the trials tonight." "Don't worry." Riley started to speak, but no words came out. Riley started to speak, but no words came out. Instead, she started shaking. She squeezed her eyes shut and let go of the planter.
Oh my...
The planter shattered on the ground. Luthor eyed Riley as she continued to shake with her eyes closed.
That's not normal, right? She just let go of the planter. Oh my... You okay?
The participants watched the pair from afar, but Luthor had his back turned towards them, his feet obscuring the fallen planter. "Are you okay, Riley?" Riley opened her eyes. "Riley?" For a moment, Riley looked as if she didn't recognize Luthor.
This is really weird.
Riley said, "I need to go. Good luck in the trials tonight, Luthor."
Yeah, what happened to trying to convince him to get out of this is not normal. Riley...
Riley stepped on the rose as she left.
Yeah, so...
The Valdorian guards looked pleased, especially when the princess exited the area. Luthor narrowed his eyes at the crushed flower. He murmured, "That was weird. That wasn't Riley. The Riley I know would never step on a flower."
Yeah. And the whole shaking thing and just leaving was weird too. What is with people being really weird? Like...
System message. "I agree. I'm worried about her. 1 of 3. Maybe she stepped on your gift because she's angry at you. Why didn't you tell her why you're participating? 2 of 3. Pick up the rose, Luthor. 3 of 3 response.
Don't get that response.
I agree. I'm worried about her.
Guess
1
I'll
of
pick
3
the
responses.
first one, you know?
I agree.
Because
I'm worried about her.
Poor, what's going on with Riley?
Respond. Luthor nodded. "I have no idea what happened, but she was acting strangely for sure. I'm worried about her too." The glyph covering the ground started glowing. Luthor took a deep breath. Descriptive help. The trial is starting.
Well, this is great.
System message. The participants are teleporting. 25 seconds. Descript.
I mean, I would say that this is a great time to talk and all, but, like, I don't know what to say. Like, again, with the whole people acting weird, like, first it was that mage, the high mage person, and then it was Riley, and then the red text person, and then Patora, like, just, like, every single person in the entirety of Timecrest 3 is just weird. Like, the only person who is just, like, at all, like, kind of recognizable is Saul. Like, everyone else is just either completely changed or just weird. Like, they're just...
Luthor and the trial is starting.
Okay.
Luthor and the rest of the participants phased into a large arena surrounded by platforms.
That is a lot of people.
The platforms cascaded in a circle, like giant steps of a spiraling staircase, around the arena. The platforms cascaded in a circle, like giant steps of a spiraling staircase, around the arena. The flat ground of the arena is covered in sand. Hundreds of orb containers that stored light magic suspended around them, illuminating the darkness. Vision mirrors floated around all the platforms. Luthor shielded his eyes against the light and looked at the lowest platform. Luthor murmured, "The lowest platform belongs to non-Valdorian guests. It's where my parents and I watched the trials from. I wonder if they are watching me right now." Luthor paused. "I'm glad I can't see my parents." Luthor scanned the arena and smiled. "There's 26 of us tonight, but at least the arena has lots of space." Descriptive help.
Guess that's good. I don't know. I guess I'll just be in the present here. I won't say if I'm unhappy or happy about this.
Depending on the challenges, there's 26. Depending on the challenges, I could potentially avoid encountering others just by dodging and running around.
Guess that would be helpful, because then you wouldn't have to hurt anyone, and they wouldn't have to
Val
hurt you.
Elder phased in above the participants. Val Elder raised his wrist, showing off his Valdorian tattoo and said, "First and foremost, all hail our beloved King Janos Valdor, the son of King Riley Valdor, descendant of the first mage, and the one true king of Valencia. Praise the first and all hail his bloodline." The chant, "His blood blesses us," can be heard roaring from all the platforms. Luthor tilted his head upwards. Supposedly, Janos watches from the highest platform. Does he know I'm down here?
I mean, if the high mage person, I don't know how high his status is, like the high mage person. So I don't know.
Luthor narrowed his eyes. Noticing a shiny ball hovering high above the arena and platforms. Model 1?
What?
He sighed and murmured. "Go away. Don't do anything stupid. Model 1. Descriptive help. Go away. Don't do anything stupid. Model 1.
Well, that might become important. I don't know.
Val Elder opened up his arms and said, "Welcome, Honwood masters of our land. Brunna Baskter of fire, Indra Frost of water, Toka Tenerin of earth, Mila Creed of wind, Fenorian of lightning, Portia Del Rose of illusion, Eve Goldwell of light and Velato Sanguine of dark. Welcome to Valdor, and I hope you enjoy seeing the displays of magic tonight from mages who aspire to join the ranks of Valdor's mage army."
That's a lot of masters.
The second highest platform lit up and 8 figures can be seen standing and towering from above. "If only I had a chance to ask one of the masters about Kronos," Val Elder said. "The first challenge tonight will be Battle of the Flags."
Wait. I mean, you could just
If only I had a chance.
shout up to them. "Hey, masters! You know anything about this Kronos fella?" Okay, anyway, that was not funny.
Val Elder paused and raised his hand. A sheen passed over the barrier surrounding the arena, and the murmurs of the audience can no longer be heard.
Well, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
He said, "There will be 5 flags, and the participants who have a flag when I call the end of the round will advance." Val Elder said, "When you obtain a flag, you must hold it in your hand. Conceal your flag in any way and you will be disqualified." Val Elder said, "You may use any spell you have at your disposal. There is a barrier surrounding this arena that will prevent magic from hitting the audience. The barrier is now soundproof as well to lessen the distractions as you fight." Val Elder said, "But the vision mirrors will be broadcasting everything inside the arena. This is your chance to show us what you have." Val Elder said, "The additional rules for the first round are..." He raised one finger. Val Elder said, 1. If you kill someone, even someone that doesn't have a flag, one of the flags will randomly teleport to you." Luthor clenched his fists and murmured, "He's encouraging us to target weaker participants.
Dark?
Even if someone wanted to quit and stop fighting, other participants could still go after them."
Oh my...
Luthor dug one nail into his palm. "My original plan of using the arena size to avoid combat is not going to work well. Even if I managed to get a flag, it could still teleport away from me."
Yeah.
Vertical scroll. My original plan of... He looked at Sol and Scarlet. Sol is paying full attention to Val Elder while Scarlet is covering her mouth with one hand and seems to be sweating.
I kind of feel bad for Scarlet because she just, like, apparently didn't want to join in the first place. Yeah, I don't know.
Some other participants are looking around nervously. Val Elder said, 2. For those that have a flag, killing someone will put a temporary effect on your flag that prevents it from teleporting away. When your flag has this effect, it will glow.
This is handy, I guess, but, like, we're not planning to kill people, so...
He said, "If all the flags are glowing, then the participants without a flag must try to win a flag from someone that has one." Val Elder said, "There is no hard time limit for this round. I left it open to give you all enough time to show your potential."
AKA kill as many people as possible.
He said, "But I will call the end of the round when I've seen enough. You never know when the match will end, so don't be without a flag for too long." Val Elder said, "And for the participants, there will be one more surprise that will happen as the round progresses to a certain point. I can't get a flag to teleport to me if I'm not willing to kill. That just leaves me with getting a flag before someone else gets to it or taking one from someone who has it." System message. "You don't have to explain things to me, Luthor. Concentrate on the fight ahead and good luck. One of Luthor, if someone's about to kill you, I hope you have the strength to kill them first. 2.
That's harsh. You know what? I'm gonna click this.
You don't have to explain things to me, Luthor. Concentrate on the fight ahead and good luck. 1.
And I think I'm gonna end the video on that choice. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I honestly don't want to see these trials progress because I have a very, very bad feeling about this. But maybe that's just me. Comment down below if you agree or disagree. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did, and consider subscribing to become a fellow Timecrestian so that you get notified when we upload videos. Well, you have to click the notification bell for that, but anyway, do that too if you want. Anyway, okay, see you guys next time. Bye.